Thank you, Brintika, for nice introduction of myself and about the PhD researches. Today my voice is breaking because I am suffering from cold and cough very much. But still, as I am committed to deliver my speech in this webinar, so I am here about the PhD researches, what you have to do, what you have to say in the interview board for in Viva Voce in the PhD research. So, in this respect, I want to share my screen. Brintika, just tell me if the screen is visible or not.
Yes, Shamasriti, the page is visible.
Okay. Here, I have not prepared any PPT because one of the material of IGNOU is very helpful that will be presented in this topic, and I will discuss one by one, and it will be very helpful for you. Brintika has already explained about the PhD researches, and PhD researches are very unique. First, how many types of Viva researches are there? There are two types of Viva Voce. That first, for getting admission into PhD, one Viva Voce will be arranged. That whether you will be selected by the any university who will be selected you as a research scholar in the particular subject, and number two, after selecting, that is after your admission, when your title registration will be done, again there is another Viva Voce. There your title will be finalized. Okay. Now, before going that, I want to make some objectives what you have keep into mind. First, understanding various types of research projects. Describe the important sources of problem identification and its selection. Understand the criteria which are to be kept in view of formulating a research problem. Describe various stages as research proposal. Understand the format of a research proposal. Prepare a research proposal. Execute a research project, and understand the procedure of writing research report. All these points you have to understand very minutely, because question can come from any stage of these objectives. So you have to understand all these objectives one by one. Now, classification of research projects. The most common research projects which is undertake research for completing their PhD degree. Submission of research proposal generally requires most universities evaluated by committee of experts because determine its feasibility. When you are a student of PhD, you have to require to select a theme or problem in the area of choice within the framework of contents from either compulsory course or elective course or already studied. That is, what area have you already studied in your master degree or in your MPhil degree? You have to select from this area. Other area you may select, but you should have a large knowledge, a great knowledge about this field, because if you want to select any new area, you can be in a problem, because if you can't explain this problem, that means the research problem, the interview board may not select you. So it's better, advisable, that you should select your research problem from your known area, that is you have already studied in your courses in master degree or MPhil degree. However, it may be noted, you should choose a topic for which is need resources that is available to you. Yes, this is also very important. What resources you have in your hand? You have to select from the topic from this only. You may select one topic, but there is no resources in your hand. You will be a great difficulty if you select that such topic. And main purpose of this project, that means the dissertation, is to sensitize you to the realities and practices used in educational field in various systems, or maybe in social sciences. I don't know what the participants are from your background. I will be focusing here into the social sciences, because literature and some main pure sciences I could not discuss here. Mainly I will focus on the social sciences. And also, the uniqueness of the problem, demands on them, and the possibilities inherent in them, it's also important. Why you have chosen this subject? What are the possibility? What are the future prospects of this subject? That is also important. Second type is, what is to private, a government agency or financial assistance, who are going to assist you financially when you are conducting your research, PhD research. Whether it is private, that may be personally you are doing from your own finance, or there is any government agency, or any scholarship or funding agencies are there. Whether if you are NET JRF, then you can get government fund also. That is also important. How much fund you have, so that you have complete your project. There are many funds. I am not going to discuss all these details. Generally, research is conducted in the above mentioned types of research projects and can be classified based on the following three perspectives: application of the research study, objectives in undertaking research, and type of information sought. These three are very, very common. Now you can see the types of research based on, there are three types of research, but I am not going to discuss in details everything. You can read it yourself. Just see the types: application, objectives, and types of information sought. Application based researches are pure research, that is applied research. Objectives based research are descriptive and exploratory. And another types is correlational research and explanatory research. Type of information sought is quantitative research and qualitative research. Okay. Now you are going to select a research problem. Before going to select a research problem, you should have professional experience. Some of you may be teachers in university, colleges, or other institutions. There may be also some of you fresh postgraduates. That means you have just qualified your NET and you are just a master degree. In such cases, one of the most fruitful sources of problem, that is own experience as a professional educator or as a curious learner. Inferences from theory. The second important source of research problem lies in the inferences that can be drawn from various educational and psychological theories studied by you. That you have already studied in master degree, graduation degree, or your MPhil degree. The application of general principles involved in various theories in specific classroom setting makes an excellent starting from research. It will help you to determine whether a particular theory can be translated into actual practice. Why? Because all these days what you have studied only theory. Now the PhD is your ground for applying your theoretical knowledge. So you have to determine whether you have the ability to apply your knowledge in this application field of the theoretical knowledge. Professional literature. A study of professional literature will not only expose you pressing research problems but also suggest you ways in which research is conducted. Research reports, bibliography, books, articles, periodicals, research abstract, yearbooks, dictionary, newspapers, research guides suggest important themes which can be selected for undertaking your dissertation. Okay, because if you if you want to do your PhD research, your brain planning will be 1.5 years before, because you have to study all these things to select a research problem. Technical and social changes. Technical and social development of new courses and curriculum for students in both formal and open systems. These developments constantly bring forth new problems for research. It may be 4Ps: people, problems, programs, and phenomena. And research problem, another interesting way to classify sources of research problem is according to these 4Ps. Okay. Now, the following table will explain the study population, that is people. It's a study of individuals, organizations, groups, or communities. You have to select your sample as per your feasibility. When you can collect sample from what area, only that samples could be selected. And problems, issues, situations, associations, needs, population, compositions, profiles, you should kept in mind. And also the programs, that is contents, structure, outcome, attributes, satisfaction. If you go to a curriculum related study, you have to keep in mind these programs. And in phenomenon, cause and effect relationship, the study of phenomena itself, you have to keep in mind. Now, evaluating research problems. These questions may come in your viva voce. Whether appealing and important for me, that is important for you, the interviewer will ask you whether this problem is appealing and important for you or not. The research problem selected by you must appeal to you as researcher. This will provide motivation, and then only you will be interested in continuing it. The participant or the candidate, if he or she is not interested in this problem himself or herself, then he or she can never continue and complete this research. Next, is this problem researchable? There are certain problems that may not be effectively solved through the process of research. These are certain problems which can be answered only on the basis of value judgment. The relevant data may not be available to find answers to questions involving to ethical issues. So, the research problem must be such that can be stated workable research questions to answer empirically. This is very, very important. The problem you are taking, whether it is researchable or not, can you get the data available? It is very important, and it must be asked by the interviewer. Is the problem a new one? There is no purpose in studying a problem which has already been adequately investigated by others. In ignorance, you might select a problem for your project work which is neither new nor original. You will spend time needlessly on a problem already investigated by some other researcher. So, it will be a duplication. To avoid this, it's essential to examine very carefully the record of previous research projects completed in this area. And previous research project means you can get it in your research grade, Srodhganga, etc. in the websites. These are very much available nowadays because of open resource system. Okay, because if you don't study minutely, it will lead to duplication and your thesis will be rejected. Is this problem significant? The question of significance of the problem usually relates to what your researcher hope to accomplish in particular study. What is the purpose in solving the particular problem that have been chosen? What new knowledge do you hope to add to some total of what is known? All these questions need to be addressed, and unless these are answered clearly, the project should not be selected for project work. The interviewer may ask all these questions. So you have to be prepared to answer all these questions. Why this problem is significant according to you, is significant for the society. In case of social science, you are studying in you are researching in social science. You are the candidate of social science researcher. So you have to you have to make ready all these answers. And is the problem feasible? The problem selected for project work may be a good one from the point of view of this criteria above, yet it may not be feasible in view of some aspects discussed below. Now, why this may not be feasible? You can see the research competence. The problem should be in an area in which you are qualified and competent. You must be familiar with concepts involved in the area and also possess necessary skills and competencies that may be needed in the conduct of the study. That is, you have to develop the skill to complete your research, to administer the tools, and to interpret necessary data. Choose appropriate research design. Before going into the research ocean, you have to keep in mind all these factors. Now locate pertinent data. You must find out whether pertinent data is accessible and are valid data collection devices are present. How would you collect your data? Is there any standard tool to collect your data? Or if it is made, researcher made, you have to make that tool standardized. Do you have that knowledge to standardize your tool? Everything you have to be under your knowledge. Without that knowledge, you cannot take pertinent data. Interest and enthusiasm. The problem should be one in which you are genuinely interested and about which you are truly enthusiastic. If this problem is very much boring to you, only the supervisor has told you just go for this problem and you have selected, it will not make your interest and enthusiasm level. So after a few months, you will be very much hopeless about your research if it is not interesting. Next, financial consideration. Already I have told about this. You must ascertain whether you have necessary financial resources to complete the project work on the selected theme. So you cannot select a very large expanded theme that will continue for research, go on for 8 or 10 years. It is not feasible. And also financial also matters. Time requirement. And this PhD research work, more or less, it will be completed, should be completed from 4 to 5 years. Okay, it may be extendable up to 1 year, but you have to consider the time frame that you have to complete it within 5 years. So you have to select those theme, those data, those samples, and everything that can be completed by you by the 4th year, because last 1 year you have to be in your hand, so that for every correction and every moderation before submitting your final thesis. Now, preparing a research proposal. Before appearing into the interview board, you have to prepare one research proposal. Research proposal is a systematic plan which brings to focus the preliminary planning that will be needed to achieve the objectives of the proposed project. It is just like a blueprint which an architect prepares before construction of a building. The initial draft of the proposal is subject to modification in the light of constructive criticism, comments, and suggestions of experts in the field. The research proposals always goes through the developmental phases, and therefore deficiencies, if any, may be corrected by discussing the same with experts, which includes your supervisor, counselors, colleagues, and research specialists in the concerned field. That means after preparing your research proposal, you have to go to any expert or to your professor to check your research proposal either it is feasible, and every points I have details I have just discussed. You have to show your research proposal whether it is correct or not, and it might not be rejected in your interview board. The research proposal is a detailed document containing various aspects of research which you will undertake, including statement of problem, its significance, formulation of hypothesis, if any, methods indicating the selection and selection of samples to, and technique to be used in the data collection and analysis of data, and detailed by bibliography. Everything will be mentioned in your research proposal. So your research proposal is almost which you have already something done in your brain. How the research will be conducted, everything you have studied already, it should reflect in your research proposal. There are certain specifications that are essential to good research project which must appear in each proposal. A worthwhile research study is likely to result only from carefully planned and well-designed plan. Let's go through the categories of information which should appear in the proposal. And research proposal must have information about the planning, and you must remember that the interview board may ask all these questions below. What you are proposing to do, how you plan to do it, why you selected the proposal strategy. The following categories of information should be carried in the proposal. Definitions, problems, and limitations. A statement of the objective of the study. A list of hypotheses if you are testing any. The research instruments you are planning to use, that means the research tools. Information on data processing procedures. An outline of the proposal chapters for report, and a proposed time frame. And this time frame is very familiar in this research work in these days in every university, and the total time frame you have to be framed in which months you are doing which work. It should be pre-planned. Let's go through the components of the research proposals. The title. Today I will be focused mainly on the research proposals because you are going to face your viva voce in your PhD. So it will be asked about your research proposals. The title. The title of the research proposal actually means to give words to the problem and must suggest the theme of the study. In selecting the title, you are advised to consider two things. What are the two things? First, the title should not be burdened by pompous words and should not include terms of unscientific, rhetorical, emotional, or biased nature. Don't put extra words to your title. And the title should not be too lengthy or too involved. It should be specific to the area of study. Adequate title for project is one which represents the reasonable restrictions and implies an objective approach. It may be noted by you that the proposed study for project work cannot be present in title. The total proposed study you cannot give in title. It will cross 100 words then. So it cannot be a good title. But it should be so worded that it would give sufficient information about the nature of the study. So remember, the word nature of the study should reflect in your title. For example, there is an example: a study the effect of remedial instruction materials on the achievement of slow learners mathematics at the primary level. This is just one example which conveys simple word and conveys specific information of the nature of the study. Now, the introduction, that is context and justification. In this section, the researcher introduces the problem briefly. Further, the researcher will spell out as to how the problem emerged, its social educational background, and its importance to the field. Some researchers name the caption as background of the study. You may also write like that. In short, there is an entire topic of the study is introduced in brief. In some proposals, there is separate caption, that is rationale of the study, while in others, the same is included as introduction. Here, the researcher specifically deals with the justification for conducting the proposed study. Just now I have explained you are to be asked why you have chosen this topic. So your explanation will be reflected in the background or rationale of the study. That is why you have selected these problems. While writing this section, you must include these. The content must be written from known areas to the specific problem undertaken for research, and it must also briefly present in the current status of the problem. Now, you will have to write in the research proposal the significance of the problem. A good research proposal should specify the worth and urgency of the project. It should indicate clearly how the result and the project can influence educational process and practice. The significance of the project undertaken research study can be shown in several ways. It can be established by showing by time lapse between earlier research study and the present one. Therefore, a new interpretation, new knowledge, modified techniques or conditions. A second way to justify for the study is to show that there are any knowledge gaps provided by the previous studies, and to show how the present study will help you to fill this knowledge gap. The third way to justify the need for the study to show the lack of information about the problem by presenting supporting statements of other research studies that they have not provided the information needed. So you are doing this research to add some more information. Now, the statement of problem. The statement of problem is not exactly the same as the title of the project, but an expansion of that has definite place in the introductory part of the proposal. Sometimes I have seen the MA dissertations while supervising some MA students. I have seen that they have written only the statement of problem as the title, but those are not same. It's also often declarative statement, but may also be given in a question form. It provides an explanation of the stated goal and gives direction to the research process. The major statement of the problem can be broken into minor statements. To state a problem means to specify it in details with precision. And the formal statement of the problem, if you are required to describe the background of the study, the theoretical basis, and stating the problem in concrete, specific and workable questions. All the questions or issues raised must be related to the problem. Now the questions are coming in the form of research questions. Any research study aims at providing answering certain questions raised as a result of the research gaps. These research questions usually lead a framing objectives of your study and hypothesis to be tested on the basis of these evidences. Here, the research question part is a very popular among the interviewers. They can ask you the part from the part of research questions. What research questions you have framed? Just tell me, because they know very well that the research objectives and hypotheses are formed only from that research questions. So if you have a very concrete idea about research questions, you can carry out the whole research, that its objective and hypothesis, in a smooth way. So they ask this part. Now we are coming to the research objectives. If the objectives are clarified, clearly defined, then the researcher is likely to wander aimlessly in the field of achieving worthwhile goal. In every situation, we have to make the objectives. In every condition and situation, we are planning. So that is, planning means some objectives we have to fulfill. So in this research also, you have to fulfill some objectives. The objectives provide basic foundation to the research study as the guide of the entire process of the research. That is, it will direct you to complete your research work. It must be noted that the list of objectives should not be too lengthy or ambiguously, rather should be stated clearly in achievable terms. I have seen some PhD research thesis dissertation that contains 50 to 60 objectives, and while they are giving their final viva, final defend, the external and internal are getting bored just hearing this, listening this objectives one by one, 50 or 60 objectives. So one researcher should not do too lengthy his or her objectives. It must be kept in mind. The following criteria must be followed while writing the objectives. Must be clearly worded and unambiguous. Make sure that each objectives contain only one aspect of study. Must be written using action-oriented words. You have studied action-oriented words, that is, to determine, to find out, to ascertain, to measure, to explore, to investigate. Such type of words you may use, action words. Now you can see the illustration. In the descriptive study, you can start your research objectives by writing like this: to describe the organizational structures of, or to find out the opinion of the students about. And in correlational study, you have to start your research objectives by writing to ascertain the impact of the use of educational technology, or to ascertain the impact of different methods, different teaching methods on. Now the main things is coming, that is hypothesis. Any research is directed to answer the questions raised by the researcher. Hypothesis is thus a guess or tentative generalization which is formulated by implication of related literature and deductive logic drawn from the empirical support of the problem under investigation. So, at the time of making proposal, it is in the form of formal affirmative sentence which predicts the single research outcomes. A tentative explanation about the relationship between two or more variables. Falling under some characteristics of good research hypothesis. And you mind it that interview board may ask you about what are the characteristics of your research hypothesis, they may be asked whether these hypotheses are reasonable, if they are consistent with known fact and theories, formulated in such a way that it can be tested and found to be probably true or probably false, and must be stated in the simplest possible terms. In this respect, I want to give you one example that it is I have in some research I have seen that the person made a comparison of intelligence between boys and girls students, and for over decades we are it's a established theory that in intelligence there is no comparison of boys and girls, there is no gender wise discriminations of intelligence. So it's needless to do making hypothesis on this gender area on intelligence. Like this, it's not reasonable. If you put this type of hypothesis, it may be rejected. So you have to keep in mind that also. It is important to have